All right, in this chapter, we're picking up again right where we led off. In this case, we're going to be talking about three topics: adding lien holders, insurance detail, and registration details if needed. So, the first thing we're going to take a look at is adding a lien holder. And if I go to my unit information down here, I can see if I scroll down, um, down here, we have a lien holder information. It's part of the F&I part of the deal. And to do that, I can simply click the magnifying glass. I can look for a particular lien holder. In this case, it's Denigo. They're a manufacturer. I can click add selected and simply in there. Now you might be wondering, how did that happen? That's because when I set up Denigo as a vendor, I did set them up as a lien holder as well, and that's how they showed up in that list. So make sure when you're setting up manufacturer vendors, you do that. And there is a chapter under dealership settings that explains how to do that. So as you can see, I've added my lien holder. I click save, and now it's part of our deal. If I needed to update, you notice I don't have an address here. I would just go into the customer record and update that information. That's part of the vendor record. So and then you'd have your lien holder address and all that information displayed here. So that's a pretty easy process to do. We also may need to add in insurance information. So if I go to invoice details in my left-hand collapse menu, I'll see an insurance tab. I can come down here. I can find a particular company. I can add in an insurance company there. I could add in who my agent might be. I can put that in. And again, I could go in and enter things from policy number, effective to, deductible, things like that. Again, once I enter in that information, I can just hit save, and now I've added in insurance information if it is required. Our last tab we're going to talk about here is registration. Whether it's required or not, this is where you can come to update registration fields. Again, a lot of this has to do with forms. We have both our registrant and our co-registrant here. I could go in, add in some driver's license numbers that may be missing, expiration date, something along those lines, country, driver's license, state, with co-registrant, and things like that, gender if necessary. So that's where I can come in and enter all that information and click save. And again, a lot of that can, both the lien holder, the insurance, and the registration information all can really have impacts on the forms depending on what firms they are and what the requirements are of your lenders. So just make sure you understand those three basic process. Again, to get to registration, I can come to this tab, modify here. Insurance, I can come down and add a company and an agent from that side. And if I need to go add a lien holder under F&I, I can come down here, search a list of lien holders that have been set up, and add them to a deal. Pretty simple spot to do. Again, we're getting farther and farther into our deal. Now we've got all our information in. We've got our invoice details. We've got our units, our taxes and fees, our incentives, our F&I. We talked in previous chapters how to get assembly parts or assembly service billed to the unit. In this case, we don't have any. Um, uh, but make sure to see in one of our previous chapters under major unit management how you can add internal sales to invoices that can be shown in deals. And by this time, we're getting ourselves down now to a total price. You know, we've added all this information in the F&I products, and now we can start to show what our customers doing. So in our next chapter, we're going to start segue into just trying to take a look at the final parts of our deal to make sure before we print our paperwork, we convert it to a deal and kind of finalize it, that we have all our ducks in a row. And we'll do that in our upcoming chapters.